maintaining safety throughout exercise is essential. Please consider the points on screen that will help you prepare for a successful session. Also note the signs and symptoms listed that will suggest you should stop exercising immediately if you are experiencing them. All exercises carried out at home are done so at your own risk. If your cystic fibrosis related symptoms are deviating significantly from your baseline or have changed recently, please discuss exercising with a CF physiotherapist. Enjoy the session.
Hi, my name is Michelle and welcome to this week's Weekly Wiggle. Today we're going to look at hip mobility. A lot of activities we do on a daily basis are in sitting. So whether it's working at a desk or driving your car or sitting and watching TV. And that means that we're kind of flexing our hips a lot during the day. So getting up and walking doesn't really get enough mobility or move your hips through the full range of motion. So what we're going to do today are just some gentle exercises to move your hips through the full range of motion. Hopefully then it'll make you feel easier and freer during the day, and if you have any niggles it might help release them too. So we're just going to go through those exercises now today. So the first exercise, we're going to lie down on our back and we're going to stretch the inside of the hip. So you can cross one leg over the other and simply just push your knee out. This is just to mobilise the hip and just loosen it up a little bit. You'll probably do between 5 to 10 repetitions. And then when you get through it, just hold it out just that little bit, and it just gives you a little bit more of a stretch on the inside of the hip. It's normal to feel tighter on one side than the other side. Very few people will feel the same on both sides. Switch over again, and from here, again, just rock the knee out. It's a very gentle movement. As you move through the exercises, your hips will feel a little bit looser. Again, after between 5 to 10 repetitions, just hold it out until you feel a little stretch again. And then moving on here, while you're in this position, we're going to stretch the back of the piriformis, which is at the back at your bottom. So you bring the foot down a little bit closer, and then reach into the back of the leg and pull the leg up. And you should feel the stretch down here. Piriformis is usually quite tight in a lot of people, particularly people who cycle or run. Again, you just feel that stretch. Maybe you can move in. If it starts to give a little bit, maybe move in, but don't overdo it, don't push it too hard. Again, switch over, cross that leg and pull up. And just like you see on the side, you should feel the stretch across here. Holding that between 10 to 20 seconds. And that's it. And sitting up again, we're going to do what we call a butterfly stretch. You sit up and bring your 2 feet, the soles of your feet facing each other. Again, just to loosen the hips, you can push out. Just a little bit rocking again. And as it starts to loosen up, pull the feet a little bit closer. And then you can use your hand to push out. You should feel the stretch on the inside of the groin. So if your groin's quite tight, you might feel a bit more of a release here. And the same again on the other side. So rocking out again. And then using your hand to push it down. Again, it might feel tighter on one side than the other side. If you feel you can always move your bottom a little bit closer to get more of a stretch. Once you're in this position, you can put your 2 hands behind your back if you can reach down and rock your bottom over and back, moving in and out. Again, this is quite a dynamic stretch, so you're getting a bit more movement. Putting the soles of your feet together. Again, doing that between 5 to 20 times. When is the best time to stretch? You can stretch at any time during the day. Perhaps the morning is quite good to get you loosened up at the start of the day. I wouldn't spend any more than 5 to 10 minutes doing it at any stage, maybe before you're doing some exercise. The next exercise is to stretch the front of the hip, so it's the hip flexor. So you bring one knee out in front and lean forward. And here you should feel the stretch coming down your front. Again, this can be quite tight, because remember, this is where we're saying if you're sitting down for a lot of the day, this is the area that gets quite tight. And lean back and stretch the other side. Right down here. So try and keep a fairly upright position. If you start flexing forward, you're cheating a little bit and it's just shortened, but don't worry about it too much. As you get into the stretch, you might find that you're able to come up taller and taller. Okay. And the next stretch we're going to work on is what we call a 90-90 stretch. And it's called 90-90 because the front leg is at 90 degrees and the back leg is at 90 degrees. Again, sitting up quite high, and you can lean forward a little bit. And again, this is down into the hip flexor again. Because this is the area we've been saying it generally gets the tightest. And then we can switch it over to the other side. Putting one leg out in front, the other leg at 90 degrees, and leaning up. As your hips loosen up, you might find that you're able to bring your back leg out further and getting much more of a bigger stretch at the front. But certainly while you're starting out, this should be sufficient for getting enough movement in there. You're generally going to feel the stretch where you're tightest. So although here you're stretching the glutes in the front, it's actually, you'll probably feel it more where you feel tightest. So if the backs of your hips are tighter, you'll feel it more there. If the front of your hips are tighter, you'll feel it more there. Again, 5 to 20 seconds. And that's it. That concludes this week's weekly wiggle. We decided on hip mobility this week as as somebody had commented that it was something they would like to see. So if there's anything that you would like to see, any particular exercise, please say so in the comments or email cfphysio@svuh.ie and we'll try and put something together.